Well, good morning, everybody. Thank you for clicking on this video and indulging me in this part of the conversation. I know in the previous video I said that I was going to mix my gunpowders and just use them for plinking. In the process of putting everything away, I thought, you know, I should run a test with my homemade gunpowder with my 36 caliber squirrel gun. And I just give you a little bit of background with this particular gun. I don't compete with it anymore, just simply because I have my larger caliber guns. And this particular gun, I have to admit that even with the spit patch, I can go maybe 10, 12 shots before I actually have to take a brush and run a brush down the barrel. Now, I don't know if that's simply because it's a smaller caliber. This is a Petrosoli. Originally, it was the Cabela's Blue Ridge Mountain Rifle, and obviously I've replaced the stock to this curly maple stock, but the barrel is the same. And this actually is, to date, the oldest black powder gun I own. This one here is probably closer to 26, 27 years old. Now, when I first got into muzzleloading, shooting this gun competitively, I was using probably what at that time was old school knowledge, and I just kind of want to express that a little bit. When I first started, you buy a gun, you get the owner's manual, and like all owner's manual, they have a recommendation of cleaning your gun barrel. And at that time, I don't know if it's true now, but at that time, the owner's manual that came with this gun, and even my Thompson 50 caliber Hawken that I've gotten rid of since then, says the same thing: clean them with hot soapy water. Hot soapy water. Well, here's the comparison. You don't clean your cast iron with hot soapy water, because the soap, if it's got a detergent in it, takes away your seasoning of your cast iron, and that leaves your cast iron cookware more vulnerable to rusting with the ambient temperatures. The same holds true from what I was taught regarding your muzzle loader. That's why I don't clean my muzzle loaders with any type of detergent. When I'm at a rendezvous, I just use hot boiling water or just hot water. When I come back home, I use a 3-part component of Murphy's oil soap, hydrogen peroxide, and rubbing alcohol. And I've been cleaning my guns that way since day 2. When I was at a rendezvous early on, I met up with a trader that was trying to sell his version of moose milk. And I had explained to him at the time that I can only get, you know, a handful of shots before I got to run a brush down the barrel. Well, he convinced me, buying his homemade moose milk, that I wouldn't have to do that. So I forked out the money, bought his version of the moose milk, and lo and behold, it didn't work. I still found myself running a brush down this barrel, you know, 8 to 10 shots. I only use a 10,000ths patch, and I only use 30 grains of powder. And so with that being said, I do have an issue with this particular gun where I can only get a certain number of shots, even with a spit patch. I don't know why. Maybe it's because it's a smaller barrel and there's not much room for all of that fouling to go. I don't know, but I do like this gun. It's been a very accurate gun for me. And so all I want to do right now is run some numbers through the chronometer. And the reason I kind of want to do that is the second rendezvous that I ever competed with this gun, way back then, was the Bill Williams buckskinning rendezvous in Williams, Arizona. At that time in history, the reservoir that the city of Williams was using was also where we rendezvoused around, and there was a lot of shooting from the canoes. The trail walk went around, but the trail walk was only opened up for a specific time, and everybody knew that you did not go onto that trail walk at that specific time. Everybody was instructed that. The reason being is because on the other side of the reservoir there was a huge red steel target set up. And one of my friends at the time, Andy Lund, wanted to see just how far this little 36 caliber could shoot, because everybody watching at the time didn't think this gun could clear the length of the lake, the reservoir. So I loaded it up. At that time I was shooting 36 grains. So I loaded up with my 36 grains, aimed straight on at the target, and I could see where the round ball skipped off the water. So I doubled my charge. And this is why I want to do the testing today, because I want to shoot 30 grains and then double it and see what the feet per second really is. So my second shot, knowing that I had shot low and skipped it off the water, I aimed maybe a foot above the top of the target. Fired the gun, and lo and behold, you could hear the bullet bounce through the trees. So I loaded it up once again with the 72 grains, and I aimed right at the top of the target, and lo and behold, I nailed it. Now bear in mind, it was a pretty big target, and everybody knew it was there. And completely safe situation, so I don't want to hear any comments, you know, how unsafe it was, because everybody was given these instructions before you even entered onto the shooting range. And the same held true with the canoe. You make damn sure that you had a flotation device. So it was completely safe. So anyhow, that's kind of what I want to do right here. I'm going to take one shot with my Go X3F at 30 grains, and this is my powder measurer. This is what I use even when I'm in the field squirrel hunting. I don't need to have 2-3 things dangling off my around my neck. This is what I'm going to use, and this is right at 30 grains. So I'm going to get loaded up, get the camera turned around, and we'll see what kind of numbers we can produce. Shot number one. $17.47. This time I went ahead and just doubled the charge. So this is shot number 2 with the 3F Go X. Let's see what we get. $22.89. Shot number 3 with the barberry. That the charcoal was made from a fairly green wood, milled one time. I wanted to make sure I say that because in the previous video I didn't qualify that as well as I should have. So this is the barberry, once again, that I made with a greener wood. $15.35. Same barberry, powder charge doubled. This time, for shits and giggles, I did not patch the round ball. Let's see what it does. $19.53. Okay, next shot is the barberry that I milled for 30 hours, but I use an older, very dried limb for the charcoal. Let's see what we get. 1488. Same barberry, double the charge. I pulled that one for sure. Let's see what we got. $21.17. Let's see what we got. $15.19. Okay, this is my juniper, double the powder charge. $19.65. Just for time's sake, it's getting a little hot out here. This is the basswood. I doubled the charge, but this is Jake's formula of 7713. Let's see what it does. $2,068. Okay, this will be my last shot. This is the gunpowder I made with the basswood. That's the 75-15-11, double the charge. Let's see if this increases in any feet per second over the 77-13. $2,001. So it looks like it slowed down a little bit. So in conclusion, as all of you now know, I have to go clean a rifle. Just kind of looking at all these numbers, I wasn't surprised at all to see any of these things get above 2,000 feet per second when I doubled the charge. Some of them are like right at 2,000. There again, when you're testing your homemade black powders, you have to make sure you run a consistent range with 50 caliber or 45, and in this case 36 caliber, and we can certainly see that the feet per second increased dramatically. But looking at these numbers right now, it doesn't really look like even my homemade gunpowder exceeded in the feet per second with the double charge of Go X3F, because that recorded a speed of 2289. The only one that even got closer to that was my barberry that I had doubled, and I got 2117. And then with the gunpowder I made with the basswood, I did get over 2,000 feet with that double charge. So I was a little surprised with these numbers. Now you might be asking, what do my patches look like? They completely disintegrated. But then again, I was shooting a 10 thousandths patch, and that's a pretty light patch. So I would have expected them to disintegrate anyhow. Normally when I hunt with this gun, I'll start off with a 12 thousandths patch, maybe 2-3 shots, then I'll go down to the 10. And that's what this gun, that's how this gun reacts. It's been like that since day one. So anyhow, guys, thanks for watching. Will this change anything I do? Absolutely not. But it's just nice to know what the gun can do with different powders, different charges, and the one shot number 4 without a patch, got 1953 feet per second. So anyhow, guys, thanks for watching, And I'll catch you next time around. Bye.